Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine Inaugural Physician Assistant Studies Program Virtual Completion Ceremony. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Brian Loff, and as Founding Program Director for the Physician Assistant Studies Program, it is my privilege to serve as your MC this afternoon. I want to begin by thanking all the families and friends in the virtual audience today. To the inaugural class of 2020, I couldn't be prouder of you more. Today, I feel like anyone feels, after a long, arduous journey, a sense of exhaustion and accomplishment. In the beginning, you stood before the divergence of paths, and like Robert Frost's famous poem, you chose a road not taken to lead you to your goal of becoming a PA. With this program, you chose an untrodden path with its many unknowns and uncertainties. Prior to departing, you meticulously prepared your lives and packed the necessary emotional gear for such a long and formidable journey. You were ready. You looked at the appearance of a path in front of you, and with just a few steps towards your goal, the path seemed to vanish. This filled many of you with fear, anxiety, anger, apprehension, and helplessness that perhaps the journey ended before it started. A pause for most presented an opportunity for a few to join the journey once the path was rediscovered. At points along the journey, the path became even less clear, and often many questioned if the path still existed, and whether the direction was indeed toward the goal. Along the way, you were the pioneers who helped identify hazards, remove obstacles, straighten the curves in the path. You have built a clear path for those that will forever follow you. To finish a journey is also an opportunity to begin a new journey, not the end of the road. Today begins a new journey, rewarding, full of joy and happiness. And most certainly, this new journey will also present new challenges. When you're in the midst of these challenges, pause, reflect, and realize these moments are testing your character, your professionalism, and know that these moments mark the space between two accomplishments. Your training and experience will guide you back to the satisfaction and joy of being a PA. Dr. Martin Luther King once said, "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education." Today, you stand before a new fork in the road. Which path will you take? You have proven to overcome being uncomfortable. You are an accomplished trailblazer in the worst of conditions. You are well equipped to face the challenges and unknowns of a world in need of healers and leaders. This is what I see before me today, the inaugural class of 2020, my colleagues. Now we have a special message from the Dean of the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine, Dr. Tom Schwenk.
I have the great privilege and great honor of congratulating you, the graduates of the class of 2020 Physician Assistant Studies Program of the University of Nevada, Reno. The reason I feel privileged is because your class is so special, unique in fact. Not only are you the founding class, the only first graduating class we will ever have, you are also graduating at a time of enormous disruption, one of the most cataclysmic times in the last 100 years of world history. But it is also a time of enormous opportunity. You likely wish you were not graduating into a global pandemic. We wish the same for you. But you do not get to choose the world into which you graduate. You only get to choose how you deal with it and what you make of it. And there is so much to make of the world as it will be. Past global convulsions brought extraordinary tragedy, loss, and sadness. They also brought some of the most dramatic changes ever seen in every sector of human knowledge and endeavor: social, political, spiritual, economic, legal, scientific, and medical. This crisis will accelerate the pace of change in its aftermath, leading to opportunities for highly trained healthcare professionals like you, and you can bring your skills to bear with more immediate and tangible results. The challenges, and therefore the opportunities, are endless. The pandemic has exposed deep-seated, long-standing gaps in health and healthcare in our society. Who among you will address those gaps? Who will extend healthcare into underserved populations? How will you dig deeper into the lives of your patients to understand the disadvantages in housing, employment, childcare, and transportation that are the true causes of so much disease? There will be widespread mental health consequences as we come out of the immediate crisis. Who will address those? There is so much to do. I hope you graduate with pride in the education you received at UNR Med. But with expertise in education come responsibilities. You have an obligation to take your skills and knowledge, and perhaps most importantly, your values, out into a world that needs you so much. As the inaugural class of this outstanding program, you also have responsibilities to give back, to teach the next generation of physician assistants, to stay connected to the faculty and staff as they continue to develop and grow the program, and to identify the best students who will make this program one of which you can be proud in the years to come. You are indeed special in so many ways. Thank you for being the first class, and thank you for helping us launch this program that is so critical to the future of healthcare in Nevada. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
Thank you, Dean Schwenk. Now it is my pleasure to welcome Vincent Waldron to share the remarks on behalf of the inaugural PA Studies class of 2020.
Hi. As I sat down to write this speech, I began looking back at our time here. I sought out the common themes and phrases one often hears at these types of events. Phrases like, as I sat down to write this speech, and looking back at our time here. And of course, the trite but revered, oh, the places you'll go. This last phrase doesn't quite sit right for our class. And not just because it's derived from a children's book and the average age of those graduating today is somewhere over 30, but because the members of our class already contain multitudes of medical experience. Before our program even existed, many of us were hard at work in the medical field. EMTs, CNAs, nurses, respiratory therapists, dietitians, transporters, scribes, medical assistants. We've already acted as the very backbone of a cohesive medical team. Most of us were implementing the tenets of the Hippocratic Oath long before there was a PA program in Reno to apply to. So as newly minted graduates, we join in the frame, oh, the places you'll go, but get to add the coda, oh, the places you've been. And these places that we've been, our prior medical experience, will enhance our empathy for patients, our understanding of the professionals around us, and ultimately, our ability to reduce suffering, which is why we're all here in the first place. The noble work that's been done by the university and the lengths at which the leaders of our program have gone to in order to ensure that there is a PA program in this town, not just to create a conduit for our careers, but providers for our community, cannot be overstated. So, having stated, I'd like to address another important topic: marshmallow acquisition. And I know what you're all thinking. Not another speech on marshmallow acquisition. But just hear me out one last time. In the 1960s, researchers at Stanford University studied the age at which delayed gratification develops in children. They did so by conducting an experiment. Children were placed into a room that only contained a single marshmallow on a table. Participants were told if they were able to hold out against temptation and not eat the first marshmallow, they would receive a second marshmallow. Decades later, researchers found that those children who held out against temptation received higher SAT scores and eventually higher incomes than those children who just ate the first marshmallow. All of us here have faced major delays, setbacks to achieving our goals. These delays have interrupted our inchoate plans and disrupted our families' futures. Personally, I decided to become a PA in a dumpy old barracks room in Fort Knox way back in 2010. I did not expect that after 10 years, 2 overseas deployments, and a couple of degrees, I'd be standing in Reno, Nevada talking to you fine folks. So, if a degree in physician assistant studies is the first marshmallow in my analogy, we have all been staring at it for a heck of a lot longer than 15 minutes. And for the 24 of us, it's been exactly 12 months and 3 weeks longer than we had planned on. Not to mention however much longer I managed to ramble on for today. After today, though, we'll have finally made it. People will see the hood and the gown. They'll see the sweet smiles on Instagram. Their blood pressure will go up when they see your white coat. But what they won't see is the toil in all those sleepless nights. They won't see the tumult and strife of mastering the complexities within complexities of the human body. They won't see the anxiety and anguish repeated with every testing cycle. Facing the daily uncertainty and discouragement of the perpetual, unavoidable, and avoidable complications inherent with a brand new program. But we'll know. We'll know that not only did we endure these tribulations, but that we flourished despite them with grit and tenacity. So today, I'm thinking about our marshmallows. Sure, better test scores and higher pay is a measure of success according to those Stanford University researchers. But to those of us who would have waited for the second marshmallow, the profit is in the process. Our gratification doesn't come only when presented with the prospect of tasty treats and more money, but is endowed in the quality of work endeavored towards achieving our goals. Sitting here, victoriously, after trusting in ourselves to veer off the swiftest path to a prescribed gratification, adds value to our experience, depth to our young wisdom, and hopefully compassion to our demeanor. Let's let this insight be our second marshmallow. I'd like to leave you today with a phrase that one doesn't often hear at these types of events. A phrase that predates Dr. Seuss and Hippocrates both. It's short. It's a one-word Hebrew phrase derived from the Old Testament. Timshel. The closest English translation of Timshel is thou mayest. And so what? What the heck does that even mean? Well, Timshel does not command, thou must, nor does it suggest, thou should. Instead, Timshel intentionally leaves the choice, thou mayest, up to you. As we walk into our new role and responsibility as medical providers, the choice of Timshel is a significant concept. It's a simple reminder that moral action in medicine is within our power, if we so choose to wield it. Conversely, the choice to do nothing is also within our power and is equally binding. As providers, for each and every patient, we mayest or we mayest not. The onus is going to be on the 24 of us. Our previous medical experience has primed us to be providers that deal with our patients on an empathetic and interpersonal level. But knowledge is intoxicating. Following the education at this program, we can now read an X-ray like a magazine, interpret blood labs like a fluent second language, and create treatment plans that any medical resident would be jealous of. Now that we own these skills, we must take care not to let them own us. Will we still see the anguish on our patients' faces? Hear the uncertainty in their voices? Thou mayest. Will we explain their condition with words that they can understand? Thou mayest. Our patients will present us their bodies, but they will bring us their whole person. Will we treat them not just as interesting puzzles to solve, but as fellow human beings? Thou mayest. As we re-enter the medical profession, bloated with knowledge and brimming with enthusiasm, let's remember why we took all this prolonged effort to become clinicians in the first place: to reduce suffering. In our finally burgeoning careers, let that quality amongst us of ardent determination, tempered only by genuine compassion, guide us to continued success. President Johnson, Executive Vice President Carmen, Dean Schwenk, Dr. Zay, Dr. Loff, members of the board, faculty, invited guests, family, friends, and beloved pets watching at home. It is my honor to present to you the scrappy, savvy, and sometimes civil Inaugural UNR PA Program Cohort of 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Waldron. Your words have eloquently summarized the experience of your class and brought into focus the hope for the future. I now have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Kevin Melcher, a member of the Nevada State Board of Education and the Vice Chair for the Community Foundation of Western Nevada.
I would first like to thank University of Nevada, Reno President Mark Johnson, University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine Dean and Vice President of Health Sciences Tom Schwenk, and the PA Founding Program Director Brian Loff for their excellent direction, support, and leadership to make this program what it is today. It is truly a great honor to have been asked to speak at this special completion ceremony for the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine Physician Assistant Program Inaugural Class of 2020. This is the very first Masters of PA Studies in the Nevada system of higher education. And just so everyone understands where I am coming from, I found these definitions of what a physician assistant, or PA for short, really is. A PA is a person strong enough to tolerate everything and soft enough to understand everyone. A PA is a hardworking, caring superhero. A PA is a blessing to others. Now a little bit about how I became involved with the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine PA program. Population growth in the local Reno-Sparks area and across northern Nevada came to us fast and in demanding ways. Prior to the exciting new growth, Nevada was already experiencing a shortage of healthcare providers. My wife and I moved to Elko, Nevada in 1980 at a time when healthcare providers in the area were high quality and easily available. We were educators and ended up staying in Elko for 36 years. As the area grew rapidly due to the explosion of the gold mining industry, healthcare needs became a greater demand. Physicians who had practiced for many decades started to retire, and the need for healthcare providers became even more serious. Personally, I went through several doctors who came and left the area. It was not until we started using a local PA in Elko that our personal healthcare services stabilized and our quality of care returned to a high level. This is when the vital importance of PAs in our healthcare delivery system became crystal clear to me. My involvement with the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine Physician Assistant Program began during my service on the Board of Regents for the Nevada System of Higher Education. I was able to watch the program being developed from a system governance perspective. Then, after the program was approved, I was asked to serve on the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine PA Program Advisory Committee. Through this experience, I was able to meet a number of individuals who were involved with the design and development of the PA program, as well as numerous community partners who were helping to provide program support. These dedicated individuals worked extremely hard on creating a high-quality PA program that would make everyone in Nevada very proud. When word came that a one-year delay in the start date of the PA program was critical to the program quality and success, everyone involved managed to keep a positive outlook and maintain focus on designing a program that was best for students, the University of Nevada School of Medicine, and for the state of Nevada healthcare system. Being able to watch the dedication and commitment of faculty, staff, and administration during these stressful and difficult times start a major medical program was impressive, to say the least. One of their most difficult duties was to inform you, the inaugural class, that your program start date had been moved back by a year. For you, I'm sure this created frustration, tears for some, and even the questioning whether or not the program would actually become viable. You had just completed a grueling application process, intensive interviews, and long waits just to find out that you were one of 24 special individuals to be selected from around 1,000 applicants to help kick off this important program. Well, you persevered, and the program started in summer of 2018. I read somewhere that being a PA is easy. It's like riding a bike, except the bike is on fire, you're on fire, everything's on fire. Without your individual dedication, determination, and trust in the University of Nevada School of Medicine PA program, I am not sure the third class of the Masters of PA students would currently be in place. The next 25 intense months were about to change nearly everything in your life, and with the program start date setback now behind you, nobody could even imagine what you would face midway through your master's degree program with the onset of the coronavirus pandemic. You were already balancing school, family commitments, relationships, as well as trying to balance everything else that came at you in life. And now a full-time intense Masters of PA Studies program was added to your already full plate. As artist Michael John Bobak says, all progress takes place outside of the comfort zone. I cannot imagine how much support, sacrifices, and backing you had from your family, friends, and others just to make this dream a reality. I personally thank all of you for supporting your loved ones, and in doing so, you also provided support to the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine PA program. The program delay at the beginning of your experience and the sudden reality of being in the midst of a pandemic has provided you the wisdom and maturity that is impossible to duplicate in a classroom. I hope you will embrace all of the struggles and challenges and always remember them as your careers move forward. I also hope that you will reach out to the UNR School of Medicine PA classes that come after you to provide support that you know is necessary to become successful. No matter what area of healthcare you choose, primary care, family medicine, or a specialty practice, I know that you will be ready for whatever comes your way. And when I am in need of a new healthcare provider, do not be surprised when I call on you to be my PA. Congratulations, University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine, Inaugural Physician Assistant Program students of 2020. You have completed the Masters of PA Studies program, and I could not be more proud of you. Thank you for allowing me to be a small part of your journey.
Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate all you've done for UNR Med over the years and the role you've played in seeing the PA program grow to fruition. It is now time to present the inaugural PA Studies class of 2020. Students, please approach the graduation table as your name is called. Kaya Anderson Howard. Taryn Bales. Amanda Berner. Cecilia Bowers. Rhiannon Brosma. Gabrielle Buma. Gina Burke. Tanner Kavanaugh. Lauren Coons. Alexa Garrell. Alicia Jones. Jenica Law. Brian Madsen. Audrey McDougall. Lydia Morrison. Ashley Mueller. Ashley Polkinghorn. Michael Redman. Jenny for Kyle. Vincent Waldron. Corey Wilcox. Jordan Williams. Amanda Wong. Ryan Wong. Congratulations to the inaugural PA Studies class of 2020. You are making history. I would now like to introduce the president of the University of Nevada, Reno, Dr. Mark Johnson, who will confer their degrees.
Well, welcome. We're very pleased to have this celebration today to graduate the first 24 physician assistant graduates of the entire Nevada system of higher education. You went through a very grueling and competitive process to get to these positions. Many of you applied and had to wait an entire extra year to get the program approved, but we're very happy that today you are going to be joining the ranks of more than 1,000 other physician assistants practicing in primary care in the state of Nevada. The mission of the physician assistant program in UNR Med is to provide very well-trained, nimble healthcare professionals for our clinical work to expand the healthcare workforce of Nevada. The vision of this program is to expand it and have even larger classes in the future as soon as we are allowed. But today, we are graduating the inaugural class of 2020. Well, you did very well in your application, and you rose to the challenge and you were accepted into a brand new program. You rose to the challenge of being the guinea pigs, the first in your class to go through this program. And now you are going into the workforce to face the challenge of a great pandemic. So you're really making history at the University of Nevada, Reno by being the first graduates in the Physician Assistant Studies program, and we want to congratulate you. And with that, by virtue of the laws of the state of Nevada and the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education, I confer upon you the master's degrees in Physician Assistant Studies with all of the rights, privileges, and obligations belonging thereto. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson, and congratulations once again to the inaugural PA Studies class of 2020. Thank you all for joining us today to celebrate the many accomplishments of these remarkable students graduating today. This concludes our PA Studies program Class of 2020 completion ceremony. Enjoy the rest of your evening.